We're very proud of the fact that Charity Navigator, the nation's largest charity watchdog, has rated us a 4-star charity. That's the highest rating a nonprofit can get for our accountability, transparency, and financial strength, and for spending less than 25 cents of every dollar we raise on fundraising and administration. That's what leadership and good governance can get you, so thank you. The ALS Association is part of a federated model headquartered in Washington, D.C., with 39 chapters, all working toward the same vision, to create a world without ALS. I'd like to recognize the national staff that we have with us today. Our national president, Barb Newhouse, national board member and treasurer of the national board, Warren Nelson, Mike Welling, director of Planned Giving, and Cynthia Naki, director of Care Services. Thank you for being here today with us. Mike will be presenting a session later on how to fight ALS instead of giving your estate to the IRS, and Barb will be leading a town hall meeting at 4:30, so please don't miss that. I'd also like to recognize our hardworking and dedicated staff members we have with us today. We have about 20 staff members throughout the state. About half of them are raising funds, creating awareness, because as you know, all of our services are provided at no cost to people living with ALS. The other half are working directly with people living with ALS, their caregivers and their families, their loved ones. They're at clinic with you, they're in your home, they're on the phone, they're at support group, they're just an email click away. The bottom line, we pride ourselves in helping you navigate this very scary, very complicated, and horrific disease. So please join me in recognizing, on the Care Services side, leading our effort is Andrea Hearn, Vice President of Care Services. Where's Andrea? There she is. And her team, Marixa Salgado, Jessica Bianchi, Tiana Dees, Haran Sisse, Patricia Chamorro, Lana Patton. Thank you for all that you do. And out there creating a whole lot of awareness and raising money, we have Carmen Stokes, Senior Regional Development Manager, Kayla Williams, Senior Regional Development Manager, Jenny Roots, Regional Development Manager, Corporate, and Julie Niehoff, our Director of Communications and Marketing. Thank you all. If you have any questions throughout the day, please find any staff member and they'll point you in the right direction. So I'm thrilled to stand here and look out in this room and see so many people here. And I bet each and every one of you have a different reason for being here. You might want to find out more about the disease. You might want to find out more about the chapter. You may be a donor and want to know how we use your funding. You might be a volunteer, work in one of the chapter's multidisciplinary clinics, or a caregiver looking for more information. You might want to get involved in advocacy. You might be here because you wonder why we haven't found a cure for ALS, and you want some answers. But when I look out into this crowd, I see that we're all here for the same reason. And that reason is to fulfill our vision of creating that world without ALS, to cure ALS, to find treatments that change the disease from a fatal disease to a chronic one. When I talk to people and we talk about where a cure is going to be found, how are we going to find a cure, most people think that that cure is going to be found through research, meaning laboratories, test tubes, petri dishes, rats, mice. That's research, right? But the cure for ALS or an effective treatment is not found in a laboratory. Ideas are found in laboratories. Cures are found in people. If cures were found in labs, we would have figured ALS out a long time ago. The idea that you can simply fund bench science and get to a cure doesn't fully reflect the process of getting a drug to treatment and the importance of the ALS community. That's you in the research and drug discovery process. And the ALS community starts and ends with people living with the disease and their family members, their friends, their communities, and the ALS Association. The association engages you and all of your friends and families through our community-based care services programs, our outreach, including resource support groups, equipment loan program, assistive technology program, funding for respite care and other needs, such as home or van modifications, and all those things that we do as we work with patients. And when we engage the ALS community, one of the opportunities we give them is to use their voice to help us raise awareness and help us raise public policy initiatives that are essential to ALS. In Tallahassee, that means securing funding for our ALS multidisciplinary clinics right here in the state, so patients do not have to wait as long for appointments. On a federal level, the association's public policy initiatives are the single largest source of funding for ALS research in the world. About $80 million a year in ALS research funding comes from the federal government. Millions of that comes right back here to Florida with our great researchers. Millions. That includes our centers of excellence and clinics. They're the primary places where drugs go to get tested on people, including Mayo Clinic, an ALS Certified Center of Excellence, Jacksonville. Do we have any Mayo folks in the room? When I call out the clinic name, raise your hand. University of South Florida, an ALS Certified Center of Excellence, Tampa. University of Miami, Kesnick Family, ALS Certified Center of Excellence, Miami. UF Health Jacksonville, an ALS Recognized Treatment Center. Saw Dr. Pulley. And Lee Memorial Health Systems, an ALS Recognized Treatment Center, Fort Myers. Thank you for your collaboration and partnership with us. The chapter supports those certified centers of excellence and recognized treatment centers financially, and we have staff on site when you come for your appointment. And by the way, the multidisciplinary model of care is the only thing that's been shown to extend life in an ALS patient by up to a year. The only drug that's FDA approved, as you know, extends life for a couple of months. So if we can take that through our model of clinic care and quadruple that, then you can see why that is such a mission priority for us. But here's how it's all intertwined. This is where I need a Venn diagram, by the way, and I don't even know how to draw one, so you'll have to bear with me. The chapter's execution of our programs, our outreach, our public policy, our awareness programs, that results in government and private funding that goes into labs that we're funding through our global research program that are producing ideas that go into the multidisciplinary clinics where we have funding and staffing. So the activities that the chapter does helps to create a critical mass of patients that are located in these centers and clinics who are able to participate in clinical trials. It all goes back, it all ties together back into research. Everything we do at the chapter, every key mission priority is actually an essential piece of the search for an effective treatment and cure, as is every dollar we spend. So if you take out any one of our mission priorities, it doesn't work. One of the biggest challenges researchers have, particularly in enrolling in late-stage clinical trials, is finding enough patients to be in those trials. So if you take out outreach, you take out the patient community. If you take out public policy and awareness, you eliminate a huge source of government and private funding for research, which means labs don't get the funding to pursue their ideas. And if you take out support for the clinics, those labs have nowhere to go with their ideas, no way to run a clinical trial. Take any piece out, and the search for a cure falls apart. That's why the ALS Association is best positioned to find a cure, because we are advancing initiatives in every one of these areas. So donors, no matter what your area of interest, you can feel good that when you give for patient care, you're supporting the search for an effective treatment and cure. When you give to research, you can feel good about those funds going into funding the best and the brightest projects. When you support advocacy, You are supporting the generation of the largest single source of ALS research funding in the world. And of course, none of this can be as broad-reaching as we need it to be without awareness. These mission priorities are not separate and distinct. It is not a four-legged stool. It goes back to the fact that a cure will be found in people. The cure will be found in a robust ALS community like you see here today. We have many more people coming. We've designed the session today where people can come a little bit later if they need to. You're going to see that we have almost 100 patients here. We have the ALS community in the room. The cure will be found through your work in creating awareness, participating in advocacy, and caring for patients. That's why we're together right here, right now. So thank you so much for coming. For whatever reason initially brought you here, please know your participation is bigger than that. You are helping to create a world without ALS. And for that, I sincerely thank you. Enjoy the day.